All right. It should be up. I'm going to throw it up on YouTube and see if it's connected.
Okay. Oh yeah, I'll check my audio.
Yeah. All right. I'm going to check mine too. All right. You're good.
Okay, perfect.
All right. Let me put it on Snapchat and we're good to go.
All right.
All righty. Let's get started then. Let's get started. Timer. Stopwatch, I meant. You ready? All right.
Yes.
Cool. Can you get ready in 3, 2, 1. Hello and welcome to the Wise Guys podcast. I'm your host, Brady Fitzgerald, joined as always by my co-host, Chris Hagan.
It's good to be back.
It's good to be back. We missed last Friday. I got caught up with some stuff, and sadly, Chris, we might as well bring the bad news out right at the beginning. We might not have another pod this week as well. If we don't, and never say never. We might squeeze in a Thursday one if we can, but we won't have one on Friday. If we do, check our Instagram, check for our picks, and check for our locks because we've been doing good so far. And speaking of that, let's just get right into it and go and start with our wise picks.
Yeah, I mean, this was a nice recovery week for us. I think last week was not the best. I think we were 2-4 as a team and 0-2 on the locks. This week, 4-2.
Yeah,
2-0 on the locks. So
2-0 on the locks.
I had the Vikings +2 against the Seahawks, which was a game that I hated because I've been very vocal about how much I don't like the Vikings. And it seemed like the Seahawks were a much better team. They should be favored by more, so I could smell that game from a mile away.
The Vikings are a lot like the Dallas Cowboys. They can't play defense. They get a lot of offensive yards. They get a lot of highlight plays, but you feel like they can never win a game. So, and you're right, they weren't going to go 3-0 or 0-3. So, this was definitely a bounce back game for them, and it was already a must win. They couldn't go 0-4.
Yeah, 0-3 is season
0-3
over in the NFL.
Yep.
And as bad as I think they are, I don't think that they're bad. I think they're still a team that's going to hang around playoff contention, but they're not bad enough to be 0-3, and I was right, so go me.
Yep. So yeah, the Seahawks, they just have these random games where they can't keep up. And it's September, so it's September rust. I don't know what's going on. I don't know why they couldn't keep up. I thought it was going to be closer than this game was, but
I did too. I thought some weird stuff was going to go down at the end.
Oh, definitely. Especially whenever it's Minnesota Seahawks, it's always weird stuff at the end that causes it.
Oh yeah.
And I don't know what's up with the Seahawks. It's just I feel like they have some holes on it, like major holes, and I don't know even where.
They also haven't even played a division game. They're in the toughest division in the NFL, so they are not in a good spot right now.
Not at all.
It's only week 3 and they're 1-2. It's not good for the division they're in.
No, they're in the toughest. You're right. They're in the toughest division in sports, and they're at the bottom of it. They're the bottom of it, and they've never been able to beat the Rams for some reason. Mm-hmm. Even when the Rams had Jared Goff or Woodley in the playoffs, they couldn't beat them. And I feel like I gotta make sure these guys are not. I'll make sure the YouTube's not freezing. Very weird. All right, put that up there. This up there. All right, we're good. Sorry, doing some behind the scenes maintenance stuff. Anyways, the Seahawks are such a weird team where I just cannot. I can't put a pin on what they're actually bad at. I just they just
just
don't
lose.
win. Yeah, they just lose.
But
So-
like they look good doing it at the same time.
Oh my god, I just realized that it just made it. All right, there you go. Now I can doing some maintenance stuff in the back because it keeps freezing on me for some reason. So we're good. I think we're good now. Everything's back. We're set up. We're good to go. Anyways, let's move on to the next game because this one's giving me problems. So my lock of the week, Titans -5.5 versus the Colts. Another pat on the back for me. I don't like this Titans team really still, but I mean, Carson Wentz has no ankles. There was no chance they were going to win this game.
Yeah, I don't know why he played.
I don't know either. Why are they playing him if he has 2 bum ankles and everyone knows it?
I don't know. And I thought the Colts were another team too that was too good to go 0-3, but clearly
No.
they actually are just terrible.
Nope.
They're just not a good team. Wentz clearly doesn't have it anymore. Like, do we put the Colts on the list of we're not talking about it
We
anymore?
can't mention that they have no receivers.
Right, okay.
We're not.
So there's really nothing else to say.
No, that's it. They're a bad team.
Defense is not. They're supposed to have a pretty good defense. It doesn't look good through 3 weeks.
The Titans are a weird team too.
The Titans are wildly unpredictable.
No, they make absolutely no sense. Luckily, for their sakes, Derrick Henry's still Derrick Henry, and that's really all they need.
Yeah.
So especially to win against bad teams, like that's all they need. So
Mhm.
they'll win the division because they're in a shitty division, but they'll
Yeah,
probably
that
do.
division is beyond awful.
Yeah, it's
I
really-
was not banking on the Colts to be this bad, and the other two might be the 2 worst teams in the NFL.
I'm getting some
So-
compliments on my appearance in the comments. I appreciate the kind thoughts. All right, next up, the Wise Bowl. Should we get to the Wise
Yeah,
Bowl?
I mean, usually the Ravens cover these games against bad teams, but I think it's a different Ravens team this year. They're not as dominant against crappy teams, and Lions they're frisky, and they should have lost.
the Lions.
It was a game that the Lions had won.
Yes, the Lions had won that game. They got bailed out by a penalty that wasn't called, and Justin Tucker being the greatest kicker of all time.
Mm-hmm.
And I'll respect that. We don't give a lot of respect to the Ravens here on this podcast, so I'll respect that Justin Tucker is the greatest kicker of all time. But there should be no reason why the Lions are hanging with this team. I feel like they could cover every game now. I think they're a covering machine.
They just hang around. They
Yeah.
are a covering machine.
They are definitely a covering machine.
Coaches like Dan Campbell are like that. It's like Rutgers this year, I think, is going to be the same way in college football. They were down 20-3 at halftime and still ended up covering. It was a 20-point spread, but like they just hang in there the whole time. And the Lions are the same way.
It's
They're not
not
going to win
just.
games, which is unfortunate for their fans, but we can profit off of it.
It's funny. It's not only Dan Campbell, but it's Jamal Williams and like guys like Khalif Raymond and T.J. Hawkinson. I feel like these guys are just
Cephas.
Cephas. These guys
Cephas
are
is my guy.
just a bunch of guys. They're just dudes.
They're professional
ready-
football
They
players.
are ready to ball. Darren Fells, like he is a baller. He's just there to ball, and that's it. So, also,
The wheels are going to come off, though.
yeah,
like
no,
we
they're,
said that
they're
last
gonna
week,
get
it's
they're gonna
Only a
get
matter of
the
time.
wheels blown off of them. But in other news, breaking news, I guess they released Jamie Collins.
Mhm.
So that could go. I mean, I feel like he could.
He's not a dude, I guess.
I guess he doesn't fit with Dan. He doesn't bite kneecaps like the rest of them. Marquise Brown deserves to never be called Hollywood again, by the way, ever. And if you're
That
a
was
Ravens
tough.
fan, how do you support that guy still?
I don't think you do. I think they're moving past him.
That guy blows.
I mean, I think one of them might have been tipped. The other two were
Just wide open.
terrible
Wide
drops. He's just not an NFL receiver. He's just a fast guy
He's not a dude.
at this point. No, he's definitely not a
Definitely.
dude.
He's the opposite. And the fact that he can just steal Joe Flacco's number and then drop 3 touchdown passes is just absolutely mind-boggling that the Ravens fans even allow him in Baltimore.
The nickname and the number just have to go.
Yeah, he needs to be wearing number like
It
13.
needs to be Marquise wearing make him wear 87 or something.
Yeah, you're
Not
right.
even a fast number.
Yeah, you're right. All right, but the Wise Bowl first. I guess what was the other Wise? Well, I guess we didn't pick against each other in the other Wise Bowl. That was just the NFL
Panthers.
Wise Bowl. Yeah.
Yeah, we didn't get to talk about that either.
You're
'cause
right.
we didn't
We didn't get to talk about our boy Davis Mills
It's
and
how anyone cares, but
and the best team in the NFL, the
Yeah.
Carolina Panthers. And
exciting.
yeah, it is exciting.
Making us look good.
They just got they are really pulling out the ranks. When we rolled out the blueprint, they're doing word for word what we were supposed to do. They said, "Oh, J.C. Horn went down. We'll just get the 9th pick from last year for a 3rd round pick and a tight end we don't even use."
Mm-hmm. Yeah, when I saw that and it was acquired for Dan Arnold, I was like, Dan Arnold.
I was like,
is the guy
why are the
you're
Patriots
giving
not
up?
having? Why is C.J. Henderson not on my team?
Yeah, I know.
Like, what the hell? It doesn't make any damn sense. Or
Yeah.
the Jaguars. This is just like the season. They just getting worse and worse because they absolutely suck ass.
Yeah, they're atrocious. They had the one good play, and that'll be the play of their season. The kick return.
Yes, the cat's a kick.
The long field goal
The kick
that they returned.
Yeah,
Yeah, but then they scored.
since we're already on this game, speaking of the kick six, why the hell is Cliff Kingsbury an idiot?
Mhm.
All right, that's all. That's all I need to know. All right, cool. He's an idiot. Sweet. That guy's another one where I wouldn't be surprised if in 2 years he's not coaching.
There's a lot of bad coaches in the NFL right now.
That get respect.
It's Kingsbury. It's just because he has Kyler Murray, and people don't even think about him.
No, and he coached.
Every time Kyler Murray
coached
makes a play,
Mahomes
it's
in
like,
Texas
look
Tech.
at
So
him
they're
go.
like, oh, he coached Mahomes in a bad Texas
Yeah.
Tech team.
I mean, yeah, they were bad.
They
We're under 500.
Yes.
But
I don't
we've said
get it.
this on the podcast before, previewing the season, talking about the Cardinals and how they're overrated. He's not a good coach, and it's gonna hurt them.
It will eventually. When they're not facing the Jacksonville Jaguars, it'll
Mhm.
matter.
Yeah.
It will matter. Anyways, now we have to talk about you're first up on the chopping block. My first.
What about my last wise pick?
You want to talk about them instead?
No, never mind. I guess that's in order. I really have nothing. I mean, they're bad. A lot worse than I think everyone thought they would be. It's the same old
Is there
team.
any hope left?
No.
No, you're done.
Nothing.
Canceled. Oh,
Actually, we'll see how they look next week. What, am I good?
Yeah, you are. You just pause for a second. To be fair, it's a good Bills team. And clearly you faced a good Chargers team. The only
Yeah.
stink is that you didn't blow out the Giants. Because Giants are.
I mean, Heineke doesn't look good. They have no one on offense other than McLaurin. Gibson had one nice play. That's
Yeah,
where
he's
all
not
the
running
yards
the
came
ball
from.
well.
Nope. The line
It's almost like he's a
isn't
receiver
good.
that never played running back.
D-line is atrocious.
That's the scary
There's
thing.
nothing.
The scary thing is, just the sacks are zeros across the board.
So I got nothing. Honestly, I'm just dejected and sad.
Sorry to hear that.
Yeah. I mean, you got anything for me?
I don't know what to tell you. You lost by 40. I lost by 20. I think. I don't know what to tell you. And I guess it would help if, I don't know, maybe you intercepted Josh Allen once.
Or if they stopped them.
Or
once.
sacked
They
him.
stopped them once on 4th down.
Sacked him, maybe.
And I don't know if they punted the whole game.
I'll look. They didn't.
Because I can't remember
They punted
them punting.
twice.
Although I didn't watch
made 'em
most of the
punt
second
twice.
half because it was already a blowout.
You got him to punt twice.
Okay, good job, team. Tress Way didn't even have a good game.
Trust me, dude. My team's not looking much better. Let's go. Let's get your last wise pick in. Then
Super Bowl Rams.
yeah. That's the outcome of this game, right?
Mm-hmm. They're good. They're really good.
They're really good. The best draft of the or best player drafted this year has been Cooper Kupp. 100%.
Yeah.
He's getting 30 every game. It's insane.
Yep. I'm kicking because I think I drafted Robert Woods in another league too, like 2 picks before him. And he just looked like the biggest dummy in the world because he's going off every game. And Deshaun Jackson is back, apparently. That was cool to see. Like vintage Deshaun
it's
Jackson.
not an NFL season if Deshaun Jackson doesn't get a long touchdown.
Yeah, right.
Like, really, it's not an NFL season.
And not going to the end zone right away. It seemed
Yes.
like he peeled it out before he actually ran in.
Yeah, no, he can't go to the end zone right away. He has to do a little dance for a second and hop right in.
Yeah, NFL's always in a better spot when Deshaun Jackson is playing and scoring touchdowns.
100%. Did he get one with Hurts? I think he did last year, right?
Maybe not with Hurts, but he definitely did.
Because, I don't know, I feel like every Eagles quarterback needs to be baptized with throwing a long ball to Deshaun Jackson.
He was probably too hurt by the time that Hurts actually came in, though.
Bless. Thank you. Yeah, you're right. All right. Well, now that the Wise picks are over, actually, with this game leads into my team, I guess, because Tom Brady's scoring 100 on the Patriots. He's gonna score 8 touchdowns, and why would they ever run the ball? Their running backs suck. That's where there's problems on that Buccaneers team, and they can't run the ball. It's the same with the Chiefs.
Yeah. I don't know why they can't, though. Like, they have a good line.
And they have
2 decent running backs.
I don't know.
Makes no sense.
Well, when they sign Adrian Peterson or something, and he wins a Super Bowl.
Yeah. Put LaShawn McCoy back in.
Yeah, exactly.
He's still on the end of that bench?
No, I think that guy's officially done. After winning 2 Super Bowls playing 0 snaps. Good to see
field with the Chiefs.
That's true. He was on the field a little bit with the Chiefs. But he was a healthy scratch for the Super Bowl.
Not a ring.
Yep, that's all that matters. Good for my guy Sony.
Mm-hmm.
You know, never gonna stop believing in Sony. And now, speaking of my shitty team, they're shitty. The same problems as they've been. It's been the same problems that it's been the past 4 years. Even with Tom Brady, it's been the same problems. Can't run defend. Can't do anything because it's 3rd and 18 every time. So it's like, I don't know. It seems like we wasted all this money on 2 tight ends that, don't do anything and 2 wide receivers that don't get open.
I mean, the Saints did this to the Packers too. Maybe
That
it's just
there's a hope that we can turn it around, especially because after this Buccaneers ass whooping that's about to commence, they have a really easy schedule, but I think McDaniels might need to bounce because that guy stinks. The play calls make no sense.
And when you have Tom Brady, it covers up a lot of your.
It covers up every hole, because he just makes the decisions himself. When you have a rookie quarterback that has to go by the playbook because he doesn't know any of the audibles yet, he doesn't know what he likes, he doesn't know any of that stuff. And I don't know, you look at these 3 games and you go, this is why you would have kept Cam Newton, right? Like Mac hasn't.
I don't know
bad.
because they're a fumble away from being 2-1.
Yeah, you're right, and Mac Jones has looked good, but you couldn't score against the Jets, and you can't score against any competent team. So I don't know, and I feel like that. I don't know. The red zone offense sucks. There's not a lot of hope. The only thing that I have hope for is that they've been 1-2 before, but that was with Tom Brady and turned it around. But I don't know.
I think the bigger problem is that the offseason acquisitions just didn't make any sense.
No, and none of them, I don't know. And the worst when I'm playing Madden and I'm on year 2 and I'm like, there's nothing I do now because I have no cap space and I'm stuck with
Mhm.
all these mid-tier guys that are making bank now. It doesn't make a lot of sense.
Yeah, I mean the Aguilar signing didn't make sense. Signing both of those tight ends to big contracts didn't really make sense.
Well, especially if
I don't
Devin
know.
Smith is gonna suck ass. Like Jesus
Yeah,
Christ, guy
and it
costs
was
you
just kind of like people giving Belichick a pass because he's Belichick, and just trusting it's gonna work, but it's doesn't look good.
That's what I'm getting worried about.
Hmm.
Like, I don't know. I don't know. That's what I'm getting worried about. Maybe it's just time to blow it up. Maybe it was time to blow it up, and it should have been. Yeah, I don't know. But
Yeah.
that being said, when it's 3rd and 1 and Brandon freaking Bolding is getting the goddamn carry, why is that even in the playbook? Why is he even on the field in any playbook? He is the least elusive running back I've ever seen in my life.
3 carries for -1 yards.
You should look up Brandon Bowling highlights against the Saints. It's terrible. His 3 carries are absolutely abysmal. He's lucky he got 1 catch that he bobbled, and he almost dropped it. Man, I don't know why he's out on the field. Now James White is hurt, so Mr. Reliable's
Yeah, I
gone.
saw that.
I don't know. There's not a lot of hope with this team, but I don't know. Whatever. That's it.
I mean, the one thing is when you have a rookie quarterback, you can just say, "Well, there's growing pains,"
Yes, that's true.
and then
And
that can kind of be the
Saints
excuse
have a
for
good
the whole
defense.
first season.
What also sucks is that our offensive line looks terrible. Patriots' offensive line looks absolutely
Yeah, that's
terrible.
trouble.
And that's supposed to be one of their best, best parts of the game is their offensive line. So there is growing pains. There's probably a little bit of overreaction, but, it sucks. All right, let's get to the other games. The Giants played a team and lost.
That made me so happy. The Giants couldn't even beat the Falcons.
They lost to a team. We're not allowed to say them anymore. We're done talking about them. The Giants lost to a team.
They won though.
No, I know, but I don't care.
If we're not complaining about them, we're still not allowed to talk about them.
I think they should just be blacklisted
Okay.
off our show. They should just be completely blacklisted.
Well,
'Cause
they play my
still-
team next week.
All right. Well,
So we're
how do
just
you
gonna have
lose
to-
to the freaking Atlanta Falcons?
I don't know. Because they're worse.
They
I
are.
just love this. It just makes me feel so much better about my own team that there's another dumpster fire a couple hours north.
When the highlight comes up, this is Saquon Barkley's first touchdown in 3 years or 2 years. It's ridiculous. Since December 2019, that man has not been in the end zone. Like the best part about this, it's not like Daniel Jones is fumbling. It's not like he's taking bad sacks. It's not like he's doing. They're just a bad team.
They just suck.
They just suck.
It's a real shame.
Yeah, it's a real shame. So I guess props to the Falcons. Congrats,
Yeah, sure.
you won off a field goal.
That was a game that every time it came on Red Zone, I said, "Please get this game off of my screen.
Oh,
I don't want to watch 1 second of this game."
0. All right. The Chiefs, the mighty Chiefs, same record as the Pats.
Sure. Is there
Same
something
record
wrong
as
with them?
the football team.
You think? I don't think there's anything wrong with them. I think
No.
they're fine, and I just
I think
that
they are
lost.
too.
They lost 2 games that they're not used to losing. I think they'll be fine.
No, I think they'll be fine too. There's honestly, I think they'll be. They might not lose a game the rest of the season because they're gonna build off this. They're gonna work on it, and Mahomes has an uncharacteristic 2 picks,
Mm-hmm.
and that's really it. That's the game. They
Yeah,
also-
I mean their schedule's not
Chargers kind of got bailed out.
easy.
Chargers.
I don't. So the Chargers at the end of the game made no sense because they did. The Chiefs basically handed them the game at the end, and then they're like throwing the ball and stuff.
It's a
like
Chargers
they're going
game.
for a touchdown. And
It's
I
a
was like,
perfectly Chargers game.
they had it at what, like the 10-15 yard line with 30 seconds left, and we're throwing fades to the end zone when the Chiefs had no timeouts.
They missed the extra point because of course they do. It's
Yeah.
the Chargers. So now it's like, well, here comes Mahomes, Superman,
Mhm.
and honestly, they kind of get bailed out from that pass interference call.
Mhm.
No call. So, yeah, you're right. There should be no worries if you're a Chiefs fan. I don't think there should be worries like ever if you have Mahomes on your team.
No, not really. I
The
mean,
the
if they
problem
lose
is
to someone bad, like if they lose next week to the Eagles, and it's a problem, obviously.
yeah, but there's zero way.
But no, and I think the Chargers are good. They're a good team.
I think they are good too. I
They
think
have two
they
really
are
good wins this year on the road. So
All right. What's next? Oh, the Browns. The Browns. The Browns. What?
so it's nice for us that we're not Bears fans, and there's very few
yeah.
teams that I can say that about. I mean, what do you even say?
They had
Fields
one
just got
passing
eaten
yard.
alive.
They got one passing yard because of all the sacks.
Well, and if you don't include the sacks, it's 68.
Yeah, so it's still not good.
Ugh.
6 for 20. I guess.
I mean, obviously,
I guess you could say
like some of it's got to be on Fields because you can't take that many sacks. Like at some point, it's a little bit on you. But I think the majority of it is they called a horrendous offensive game, and his line just didn't block for him.
And have been calling a horrendous offensive game.
Yeah, I mean, Nagy should
like
literally
3 seasons.
be fired on the spot.
Yeah, that guy.
performance.
I'm surprised that he still has a job here.
That was an egregious performance.
Yeah, he sucks. He's terrible. And Browns, I mean, this is what you should do to bad teams. Congrats, Browns.
Mhm.
You did it.
Yep.
Shit stop.
I mean, it was like the perfect matchup for them. It was like a team that doesn't have good offense. It's like, all right, well,
do you
they
guys
just won't
do the
score.
football team? Does Washington play the Bears this year?
No, we do not.
I was gonna say that's a shame. That would really get your line moving and grooving. 'Cause if you didn't get any sacks against the Bears, then there's really an issue.
Yeah, it's like when we got the Eagles week 1, and immediately people were like, "Oh, look at us! Here we go!" Because we got Carson Wentz.
Well, it was the same guy, Jason Peters.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, just getting completely bullied over and over again.
Yeah,
Yeah, I would retire right now if I was Jason Peters.
I would too. I mean, if I was Fields, I would be terrified to take the field again.
Oh, yes.
Just go home and cry.
Speaking of teams that are fucked, the Steelers. What even?
So that was another game where if we would have had a preview, I would have said, I hate to be this guy and say, well, I would have said this, so we got a podcast, but that was a line that made no sense. That the Steelers were like only 3-point favorites at home against the Bengals. I didn't think it would go that poorly. I mean, that was talk about an egregious performance.
Yeah.
They should be embarrassed.
Yes.
Thrown the ball 58 times. You drafted running back in the first round.
That has 2.9 yards to carry.
Yeah, but 14 catches.
Yeah.
That's not a good sign. Like, he shouldn't be catching the ball that much.
No, none of this is a good sign. The receivers can't catch when they need to.
Mm-hmm.
The
Bengals defense isn't good.
No, and Ben Roethlisberger cannot move. He can't do anything. After that highlight of him literally slipping after throwing a pass, I'd cut him. I would sit him down with Mike Tomlin, sit him down. I'd show him that video and I'd go, give me 30 seconds why I shouldn't cut him.
Just hold up
30
his
seconds.
ring. There's 2 rings. You can't cut me.
I guess that's
much.
it. 2 rings and he's never been under 500. Well, they're going under 500 this year if Ben Roethlisberger's still playing. So,
yeah.
I don't know what you. And like, it's not like Joe Burrow looked great. They didn't need to though.
Yeah,
he threw
they
for
didn't need to
100.
at all.
He threw for not even 200 yards. They didn't even need to.
I mean, they need TJ Watt back, or they're gonna lose every game.
Minka looked terrible. The whole defense looked terrible. You're right. Without Watt, they got nothing. And they have good players too. It just, I don't know. Can't put together.
Do you think it's time for them to put he who must not be named in at quarterback?
I just want to see him.
Are we not there yet?
That's all I want to see is Simba. I want to see Simba out there. It's his time to shine.
He's just been flying under the radar. He's another Rosen. That's exactly what he is.
Mm-hmm. Yes, he is. But
I'd
how
love to
pissed
see him
would you
get
be?
in.
It wouldn't happen because it wouldn't work. But how pissed would you be if he was actually good?
I can't even fathom.
It wouldn't happen.
It's
so you won't need.
Yeah, it's so unbelievable that
Yeah,
I can't even think about what my response to that be. Like, what would happen if you walked outside and there were dinosaurs again? Like, I have no idea.
True. The roller coaster of the weekend, Dolphins and Vegas Raiders. Like. You can't tell me the Raiders are good.
I know. They're 3-0.
I don't understand how
like
they're
the Dolphins. I don't know. It makes no sense.
The Dolphins come out to a red hot start, and it doesn't matter.
Well, the safety that the Dolphins had at the beginning of the game was possibly the worst play call that I've ever seen.
Oh yes, that was pretty.
They were up. Well, it was 14-0, and they get the ball at their own 1. And they throw a screen pass in their own end zone. How do you
throw a screen pass on your own goal
line? I feel like this week, for whatever reason, the coaches have just been so dumb.
I think this year.
Maybe it is this year.
Because the coaches have been bad this year.
Yeah, it's awful. I mean, the Chargers game, they're throwing the ball at the end of the game. I'm just running through the games here. Cardinals kicking that field goal.
We even talk about
Jaguars
the Niners.
Just having Urban Meyer. Bears, Nagy. Let's see, what else?
The Niners. We'll talk about them later, but they cost them themselves the game.
Yeah.
We'll talk about them in a second, but I was riding on my high horse. I was like, oh, it's gonna be the most predictable game. The Raiders are just gonna get stomped by the. I texted you. I said, oh, biggest trap game of the year was this Dolphins.
Yeah, and I said you're right.
And then the freaking came back, and it's not like this Dolphins team's good.
No, they're not.
So it's like I'm not surprised they came back, but congrats, you're a mid-tier team now. That's now 3-0.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
How the hell did Peyton Barber get 111 yards?
I don't know. They signed Kenyon Drake to this contract, and then they just don't use him when their guy goes down.
Yeah, I'd be pissed if I was Kenyon Drake. I'd be like, man, why did I? I'd be
pissed too. I'd be pissed if I were a Raider fan. Like, why did we sign this guy?
I know. I mean, whatever. They're supposed to have Josh Jacobs, but he just does. He literally does not exist anymore.
No, he doesn't.
It's been 3 weeks this NFL season. I don't think he's gotten like 10 carries.
Yeah, well, he's been hurt the past 2 weeks.
That's
did nothing in week 1.
That's fair. All right. Well, they're back to stinking.
I hope that the Cowboys are just beating up on a bad team and they're not actually good.
No,
that offense looks really good.
Their offense does look really good. I don't think they're
scary.
I don't think they're that good though. Why are you not running the ball against the Cowboys? We saw this last week with the Chargers. Why are you not running the football? You give your top running back.
I swear, I'm telling you, Doug Peterson is still in Philly. He's still pulling the strings. Because they keep going for 2 too. I don't think they did it this game, but like the last 2 games, they've been going for 2 just at random points, and he used to do that all the time. They just keep doing the same things that we're always like, Peterson, like he's such a bad coach, and Sirianni's just doing the same stuff. Miles Sanders doesn't touch the ball.
Why is Miles why do the 2 running backs?
Carries.
2 carries. That should be. I don't care if you're down 14-7 in the first quarter. Like you're only down 7. Run the damn football. It's the Cowboys' defense. They can't do anything. I guess congrats to the Cowboys. Trayvon Diggs looks good, right?
Yeah, and so does Parsons.
Of course he looks good.
Bitter about that. Because that was the Eagles' fault. They have no one else to blame for that other than themselves. For Parsons being on the Cowboys.
Yep. Yeah, Parsons does look really good. But why aren't you running the football? The Eagles are dumb. They deserve it. Why aren't you running the football? Packers, Niners. Great game. Rodgers is back. And speaking of bad coaching, Shanahan blew it again. Freaking blew it again, dude. He's on the drive. I saw a graphic today. There was 48 seconds left, And they snapped the ball with 12 seconds on the play
They
clock.
had all 3 timeouts.
Why are they
coulda just
rushing to the
used
line?
on the whole. I don't know. That's what made no sense in this game.
They're rushing
And
to
you
the
knew
line.
as soon as they
They're
scored,
passing.
everyone knew.
Everyone. Packers fans, Niners fans, everyone watching at home.
Yeah, it was like a guarantee.
And it has it like, I don't know, you know who you're facing on the other side of the football.
Mhm.
And you also know that Aaron Rodgers hates no team more than the Niners.
Except for the Packers, maybe.
Besides the Packers, of course. But it doesn't make any sense. No sense.
I don't know. I don't know what to say.
That's
I
it.
feel like I would be a better coach than half these guys.
I feel like
Put me in
played
like
Madden
in situations like that. Like let them come up with all the schemes and all that stuff. It doesn't really matter.
ever.
And
Yeah, of
then
course, that doesn't matter.
whenever there's a big decision that needs to be made, just ring me up and I'll say, no, hold the ball for a little bit. Let's not score right away and
Coaches,
give Aaron
we
Rodgers
need to
40
have-
seconds.
We need to have a conference. All the coaches come in. We go, look, this is how you run a 2-minute drill. Because clearly none of you motherfuckers know how to do it. Right?
Another
So-
one that I skipped in the Eagles game. It didn't matter because they blew him out, but McCarthy not calling a timeout at the end of the first half was so stupid.
Oh, I didn't see
There was a minute 40 left in the game. The Eagles had a 2nd and 31. Picked up like 7 yards to make it 3rd and 24. Dallas just lets the clock run down. They still had 2 timeouts. Actually, they might have even had 3. So they let it run all the way down to a minute. Eagles snap it, get like 10 yards the next play, and then are punting. And McCarthy still doesn't call a timeout. The side judge literally like came over to him and like had to have been asking him like, are you gonna take a timeout here?
Dude,
And
that's
he's
what
just
happened.
like looking at the clock and like looking around. He's, I'm good. I'm good.
That's what happened with the Super Bowl 2 years ago with when the Chiefs won.
Mhm.
That it was the same thing, and
Mhm.
none of these guys ever learned because Shanahan's blew the biggest Super Bowl in his history. Then he
Bunch of
blew.
blow
Then he blew it
games to
2
the
years
end of
later.
time.
Yeah, he blew the one game that like it's the most famous game of all time because he blew it so badly. And then he blew 2 years later. He blew another Super Bowl. So how are these guys not learning?
I don't know. Maybe it's just a gene. And, like you can't help it. I mean, McCarthy's not like he's just a buffoon.
Yeah, McCarthy's a buffoon. Also, how in a league where every single year we go, you know what doesn't matter whatsoever? A running back. None of these teams have running backs. It doesn't make any sense. How do none of these teams have none of them have running backs? Sign Le'Veon Bell off the Ravens practice squad. He's just sitting there. Sign Todd Gurley. He's just sitting there. He's got to be better than some of these guys that are getting thrown out there. The Niners had no choice, and they picked up some guy named, like, Francis Patrick or something. Like, what are you doing? There's a million running backs out there. Who cares if they're ancient? Run them into the ground. Frank Gore's still out there. He did something at least last year.
We're still on the Jets, right?
No, he's not on any team now.
Oh, that's sad. Well, the Niners drafted Trey Sermon in like the 3rd round.
And I don't
Second
use him. 10 carries. Big whoop. Like, I don't... and it feels like everyone's afraid to run the ball. Besides, unless you're Alexander Madison.
Mm-hmm.
Like, why do they know how to run the ball, but no other team does?
And it's them and the Titans.
Like, the Patriots, they got 12 carries, and 6 of them are for Mac Jones. Doesn't make any sense. Why? There should not be, in 2021, there should not be a quarterback leading the team in rushing unless you're down 21-0 in the first quarter.
Mm-hmm. Or you're a team where your quarterback is a running back.
Yeah, exactly. Like Lamar. So,
That was, yeah.
I had to at least say it, you know. But it just doesn't make any sense to me whatsoever why these teams can't find running backs. The Ravens lost 18 running backs. At least they still have some on the team. They're still trying.
They
But
just pluck them out
they
from
literally.
somewhere.
Well, they have the
They
most
grow them in
important
their
one though.
backyard.
They have the most
Yeah,
important one,
right.
Lamar. So, I don't know. It doesn't make any sense.
I don't know.
Be
I'm
like the
also
Raiders.
sick of watching Jimmy G.
Yeah, I'm sick of watching.
I'm done with him.
But no, be like the
Just get
Raiders.
Trey Lance
Give
in
the
there.
ball 23 times to Peyton Barber. Just run him into.
Mhm.
Oh, you don't have anyone else? Run him into the ground. Who cares? I don't understand why these teams are. And then you have your quarterback throwing 50 times a game, and you're like, oh, why'd we lose? I wonder why. I wonder why we lost. No, I'm sick of watching Jimmy G too. That guy. Look, the bias is over for me. Let's just see someone in there that can really turn up the heat.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, if they win this game, it's like they're 3-0. That buys them at least like 3 more weeks of starting. Now maybe we're getting closer.
But if you have Trey Lance in there calling hurry up offense and throwing the ball when you have 3 timeouts and the other team is 0, it doesn't matter. So I guess no matter what, it's all in coaching eventually. It's all in
Yeah,
coaching.
no, I mean, they still lose that game. I just am sick of watching him. I want to see Trey Lance play because I think he's fun.
No, I'm the same.
Jimmy
I want to see all.
G.
I want to see all the.
Whatever the
rookies play.
opposite of fun is Jimmy Garoppolo.
He's the definition of standard.
Yeah.
He's 100% standard.
Eh.
He's just there. He's just hanging out, playing quarterback.
All the rookie quarterbacks though look, at least this week, looked atrocious.
Yeah.
Lawrence and Wilson just can't stop throwing interceptions. It's their favorite thing to do.
Every time. They're throwing interceptions left and right. Luckily, Mac had some bad interceptions this game. Only one of them was his fault, though. But
I realized talking about Zach Wilson that we just completely skipped that game. Broncos steamrolled the Jets.
Yeah, I don't think that happened.
That was another game that I don't think I saw on Red
I don't
Zone
think
once.
anyone's at home going, "Oh, you didn't talk about the Jets. Oh, you missed the Broncos game." Broncos 3-0. I don't know how that worked either. I guess
They're the most fraud 3-0 team ever.
You know why?
And I don't even think
Did
they're
you-
bad, but like their schedule, they
Did
played
you
the
see
3
who
worst
they
teams in
faced?
football.
They faced teams with records of 0-9.
I know. Yeah, I know.
Everyone they have played against hasn't won a game, so I don't know. They are fraudulent, but at least they look like Teddy's doing his thing.
Yeah. Oh, if I were a fan too, I'd be like, let's go. Like we're 3. I mean, the
Yeah.
Panthers is kind of the same way. At least they
Panthers,
have the win against
at
the
least-
Saints, where it's like
Yeah.
a competent team,
At least they beat the Saints,
they-
though.
beating the Jets and the Texans.
Yeah. No, that's but I don't know. You're right. You're right. Broncos. I mean, they look cool. I'm not gonna be able to get my
Mhm.
21.5 sacks from Chubb and Von Miller though, because they Chubb just doesn't want to play. I swear he hasn't played in like 3 years. He hasn't at least made an impact since he's been drafted. Because
I don't think I've ever seen a Bradley Chubb highlight. Now that I think about it.
exactly, you never hear like, oh, go on red zone with this massive sack from Bradley Chubb. It's like, nah, you
Mhm.
never hear that guy's name ever.
Since he was at NC State.
Yep.
Last that I've heard when he was supposed to be like the 1-1 pick.
And that does it, right? That's all of them. Now that we hit the Jets.
Yeah, that's all the games. It really wasn't that great of a week.
No, it wasn't. That's the Dolphins Raiders was great. Lions, just because I thought they were gonna win, was great.
Mhm.
And that's really, I mean, I guess the Chargers Chiefs game was electric too. But
Yeah, the Rams Bucks had hype.
oh well,
but
the
Rams
Packers
kind of steamrolled them.
Packers.
Yeah,
Niners.
so it was a good way to end the week.
They've been really
Before
good
the
with their
Monday.
Sunday night football games.
Sunday night has been really good. Yeah,
It's not gonna be good this week.
aside
I'll tell
from
you
week
that.
1.
It won't be good. This
Yeah, probably not.
week. No.
The anticipation will be there. But
No, and it'll be the return. It'll be all the highlights, the promos, and then the Patriots are gonna get shit stomped. It's really a depressing corner for me. I don't know what to do.
yeah, no, it's tough. There's nothing you can do.
I mean, since we won't have it, since we're planning not to have a Friday pod now, I guess we could talk about it a little bit. What am I supposed to do here? I guess I'm wearing a Patriots Brady jersey and then crying because it's team's so much better than ours is. I don't know.
Mhm.
Whatever. Maybe we'll get Jamie Collins, and then I'll be like,
Yeah, right.
oh, another old head on the team. Let's go. All right. Well,
You think he's gonna wear his rings during the game, or his Buccaneers ring?
oh, he'll probably Gronk will too. He'll be like, ugh, and he'll be like, whatever. And the really thing that pisses me off is like the people trying to like, oh, like, well, this doesn't mean Belichick's not the greatest coach of all time. It's like, all right, let's give it a rest for a little bit.
Mhm.
And then if he goes like 3 seasons of sucking, then maybe we could talk about it. But
Mhm.
all right. Anyways, I'm depressed. It's only gonna get worse. And we'll see everyone when we see you. Hopefully Thursday. Right?
4-0.
The Terps. Oh, let's talk.
Iowa
Hey,
Friday night.
we can talk about college football for a second because South Carolina's terrible, absolutely terrible. I have to do a radio show on Wednesday, or I guess tomorrow, talking about this team, and I have to pretend that I have any optimism for this team. Like when you're sitting at the game, and your quarterback can't make a 3rd and 1 to save his life, it's impossible. And the play calling doesn't make any sense. It's 3rd and long, and we're calling runs, and then when it's 3rd and 1, we're calling pass plays that never work. We couldn't score 6 points to win that game. That's all we needed. Were 6 more points. Couldn't score it.
Year 0. I wouldn't get. I've been there.
I know.
It's tough.
I know it's your 0, and I know like I'm not gonna give up. But I mean, when I was watching Beamer that game, I was like I love Beamer. You know I love Beamer, but like he looked like a buffoon. He got out-coached by Kentucky.
Yeah. I mean, Mike Locksley gets out-coached every week.
Is that the Maryland?
They just have enough talent right now.
Yeah.
That
Well,
keeps them treading. It's gonna become a serious problem.
Tagovailoa is he's Heisman watch.
Mm-hmm.
I root for success for you, Chris.
I appreciate that.
Yeah, no problem. I have no hope for this Carolina football team. I think they suck. Like you can't lose to Kentucky.
Couldn't sympathize.
Yeah, okay. Anyways, all right, well, that does it. It's been a good pod, been a packed pod. We'll see everyone hopefully Thursday or Friday. But if not, look for our Instagram for the Wise Picks. They'll be on the story. We'll be there. We'll never
Big stop for nobody.
Yeah, break stop. The picks don't stop, and the picks have been good this year. So you're gonna want to check it out. All right. Also, 2-0 on the locks this week. Hands to the guys. All right.
Take it to the bank.
See you guys all.